Hi there. Welcome to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine. I have a flip through of a journal I recently finished for my 'Tis the Season series. I hope you'll enjoy looking through it with me. This is the voiceover tour through the book. I will also be uploading a quiet one that will be much quicker in case you would prefer to go see that one. Lorna Doone was a classic romantic novel that took place in the Highlands. And it's a couple of 100 years old, the story itself. But the book that I rebuilt and restored was published in 1923. It's such a pretty book. I've actually been referring to her as Holly because this is very much a Christmas journal. I thought she was so romantic and elegant that she needed a special wrap. Let me move this so you can see better what I've created. I've used a table runner or an armchair, an arm runner, and created a little wrap to go around her and keep her safe when she's not in use for the rest of the year. Maybe she's going to be tucked away into with your Christmas decorations and be brought out once a year. So I created this so that it's all together. I've sewn this satin ribbon that is sort of in shades of dark red and gold toile satin ribbon. And I've made it sturdy and strong and ready to go so that you won't lose the ribbon when you untie it. And just so that you know which side flips over first and which overlays, I've put this beautiful scarf pin right here with a rose on it. And all of the things that you're going to see in Holly today, I have found through repurposed sources. So from the book to the fabrics to the papers to the ephemera, I love to scour through thrift stores and estate sale items and yard sales and church book sales and garage sale online, Facebook Marketplace, wherever I can find really cool old paper goods and fabrics and laces and ribbons. That's where I get my supplies when I make my journals. So this comes undone. I've just put the pin on the top so that you don't have to do it and undo it every single time. It's just there on top. And when you open it up, there she is in all her glory. Again, I just felt like it was such an elegant, romantic book. Yes, there's still another tie on her when you open her up, but I couldn't resist. I've been saving this little tie for quite a while for the right journal to come along, and I knew Holly was the right journal. She's just a little thing, but she's mighty because she's quite thick. So let me grab my ruler and you can see how wide she is. She's about 4¼ by about 5¾ and then her spine is not quite 1½ and you'll see on her spine, let's undo this so you can take a peek. Hold on, we'll move this to here. There we go. Before I get into her, there are some offcuts, some things that I hadn't used and wasn't sure about, and I thought I'll let the next owner decide on those things. And these are some spare pages from the original text block, and I've just put it onto a rusty paper clip with a little bit of torn tartan fabric. And that will be going along with Holly to her new home. So you'll be able to see here, it actually says Lorna Doone. And I like that when you can tell that a book had a previous life. And Lorna Doone was not a Christmas story, but I feel like the way I combined Christmas and this beautiful little old book, she's very much a Christmas story now. And I've put a plate on the front with some gold, matted it, and I just love this little holly illustration here that I find, in botanical books. You can still see a little bit of the last 2 letters from the author's name. Let's look inside, and you'll see that there are 9 signatures in holly. I've done a hidden hollow back spine. There's a little bit of lace there. 9 signatures, and she has 200 pages in her of varying sizes, and there's lots and lots of room for journaling. I've used scrapbook paper for her end papers, and then I put a fussy cut of a Christmas tree over top of the original first page, which I created into like a book plate and added some detailing of some sort of cranberry red brads. And there's laces throughout. Well, you're going to see. Because this book, the original story of Lorna Doone, was a romance, I imagined that perhaps Holly met the love of her life when she was just a little girl. So you're going to see her at various stages with her future love, that maybe they knew each other as children and then fell in love as young people, and well, you'll see. So I created this page because this paper was so thin. The original paper is quite thin, and I wanted something strong to adhere the publication date to, which is right there, and you can see 1923. But I thought it would make a great little tuck spot, so there's a little journaling card in there, tucked in behind this little lady and gentleman here, and I find paper goods here and there on my thrifting haul. This beautiful gold marbled paper came in Happy Mail. And then here's an original page from the original text block. I've put tissue paper, distressed and ink dyed tissue paper, on this page so that you can see what you can do to create more journaling space on printed pages. That's now journaling space. And there's a young lady there that I imagine is maybe Holly on Christmas when she was young. Lots of tea-dyed paper in this book. Here's a little page that I like when there's a variety of sizes. I've created a little tuck spot here of a little couple there canoodling and hiding behind a fan. And it was a reprint of a postcard. So don't worry, I didn't cut up a vintage postcard. It was I got it in a book of reprints. And I've tucked it behind a little pocket here that says Merry Christmas. Vintage doily. Nice big spread to just have fun with. And of course, because of her name, there's Holly on it. Because it takes place in the Highlands of Scotland, I added a small print of tartan fabric and made it all nice and, what's the word I'm looking for? Fringed. And I hand sewed the stitches down on it, and you're going to see throughout here, I thought it was here, but it's coming up, there's charms pinned in along the edges. So I liked this one because I felt like it challenged me to use different colors and still create a Christmassy looking journal. So you're going to see greens and browns and beiges, but I think this still really was effective in looking like a Christmas journal. On this side, there's a little journaling card here, again with a little fellow handing some posies to a little young lady. And then I've backed it onto some journaling paper, and it's a little rusty paper clip there holding it in place. When you were published in 1923, I would expect things to be a bit rusty. Again, I've created a journaling spot here, and there's a young man wooing a young lady, and there's some holly. On this side, I've used a tag to create a tuck spot, and you'll see that there's a little couple out for a horse ride, and it says a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And then this is from, I fussy cut it and backed it onto a recipe card. This is actually from the biography of Edith Holden, an Edwardian lady. And I added a little bit of lace, some ribbon. I really like how that page turned out. The other side, some more of that marbled paper that came from Camille. Some Christmas music from a 1928 book. Here's a little journaling tag I made. It's on some Tim Holtz paper of Christmas music. This illustration I fussy cut from a book that I have that was published in 1888 called The Girl's Own Annual. And I put a tag on it that says enjoy, and I imagine that now they are of age where they can be courting, and Holly and her beau are very happily getting to know each other. Here's another little tuck spot. This is a book from a reprint of a book of old recipes. And I also have a book of reprint of Victorian cakes, so it's a little petit-four that I've made into a tuck spot. Again, maybe Holly's at a Christmas ball with her beau. And here you'll see it's still original pages from the text block. So Lorna does not fade away in this book. She's very much a part of it. There's even Holly on the fabric that I used to sew the text block together. And of course, I had to use the music for the Holly and the Ivy in a book that's been affectionately named Holly. I made a few little journaling cards from fussy cuts out of Christmas books. And then this actually is a vintage postcard, and I just thought maybe it looked like the coast of Scotland up there where it's rocky and the ocean is wild, and I love that it's embossed on it, and you can actually use it for journaling on. Nobody used it. I've made a little tab up here sticking out with a bit of fussy cut and a word snippet, and then I put a bulb pin with a little amber colored bead on it. And I also put a little cluster on the back of that tab with a bit of holly on it. Everything, all the laces have been sewn on. They've been double knotted. So if you want to trim those threads off, you can. I like them long, but not everyone does. Again, a spread in the center with holly on it. See what I mean? Just lots and lots of room for the new owner. A little bit of Edith Holden here with some mistletoe and some stenciling on some tea-dyed tissue paper so that you can still see the music underneath. And of course, here's the other side of the title, The Holly and the Ivy, and it's been created into a journaling spot. I really enjoyed making this book. This is a spread from a guest book, a tea-dyed guest book, and I've used some music to reinforce the fold. Here is, I put a tab with a paper clip, so that you can either permanently put the tab wherever you want, or you can just leave it like that. I kind of liked it like that. And then I backed a reprint of a Christmas postcard that I found in a Christmas book, and I have a stamp that says Postcard on it. And then I put a Canada stamp with a Christmas tree on it. And I really like how that all came together. This is a sticker from 1940s. I think it's from Denmark originally. This is the music from I Saw Three Ships. More holly paper in the center of the signature. I liked that the colors for this matched. It's green with sort of a burgundy brown here. And I created a tuck spot out of it on the music for I Saw Three Ships, and it has a steamship on it. Put a little tea-dyed paper in there. I can't leave pockets and tuck spots empty. I always have to put something in them. I liked this chapter title, The Great Winter. Wherever possible, I tried to use chapter titles that maybe sounded a little bit Christmas. Just a little bit of holly here. Page tea-dyed paper from a reprint of a Sears Roebuck catalog. A vintage doily. A little tuck spot from a Christmas puzzle game from a book I found. And then you'll see here that maybe Holly and her beloved are now married and starting their family and beginning their happily ever after. A little tuck spot here as well. And I put in a vintage, this is real, a little gift card for the bride and groom. And I thought, you know what, maybe they got married at Christmas time. So I tucked that in. You can journal in that. Here's another little charm that I've pinned to the lace, and it's a little Christmas wreath. Oh, sorry about that. No, why am I out of focus? Hold on. There we go. It's a big little book. Like I said, 200 pages. Most of them are full size, but there are a few that are a variety of sizes. A little bit of stenciling here. Another little Christmas card or Christmas tag for journaling on. And I stamped on the back on tea-dyed paper. And Father has come home, and I imagine that they're getting older. They've started their family, and he's home for Christmas. And again, some more tartan sewn along the edge here, so you can tuck in there, and a little rose up there that I got in Happy Mail, and again another bulb pin down here with a little gold ball. Maybe it's like was a Christmas decoration from off of their tree. More holly in this spread. Here's a family around the kitchen table, and because it's from Scotland, oh, hold on, are you? There we go. I found this recipe card. I buy up, whenever I can find them, full recipe tins in my thrift stores, and this is somebody's recipe for cooking oatmeal. So I thought that's appropriate when you're feeding breakfast to children. Another little tuck spot here. Father's coming in the door. There's Mom with children admiring their Christmas tree. And of course, it's not a Sunnyside journal without a Tunanas bookmark. And in this case, I've backed it with a scan from the bookmark that was in my great-great-grandmother's Bible. So that, I suspect, is probably from the 1890s, given the dates that were on other things that were tucked in the Bible, and they're all very similar. I thought that worked out really nice, that the size was just right. This bulldog clip is new. I can never find them this size at thrift stores, so I do buy them new, but I do rust them to make them look old and appropriate. And again, a little bit of tartan up there that I've frayed and then tied it with a bit of gold embroidery floss. And on this side, because it's Scotland, that New Year's is very, very important. So here's a vintage thank you note, and I like that it's got a horn on it and a ribbon, and you can use that for journaling. The envelope is there too. And this music of Auld Lang Syne is from a Scottish book of music that I found. There's no date in it, but I really believe that it's late 1800s, early 1900s. And I thought that needs to go at the end of a Christmas book. New Year's always is around the corner, isn't it? Some more of that beautiful gold marbly paper. I love that paper. Again, another spread from a guest book that I've tea-dyed, and I've put a little bit more of that beautiful sort of maroon and green colored tartan. I sewed a button on with that one, made a tab, and then on this side just did a little bit of collaging and a little bit of holly here. Found another little piece of artwork that I made into a little journaling tag, and it should old acquaintance be forgot. And perhaps that's her husband. He's been out hunting, who knows, and he's heading home for New Year's to celebrate. And then on the back here, I love how the back sort of came full circle. Again, the holly colored holly end papers. And then this was out of a book of Norman Rockwell art that I got in Happy Mail. And I just loved They're Under the Mistletoe, and maybe that's Holly and her husband, and they were lucky enough to see their golden years together. And put a word snippet there that says perfectly happy, and did some stenciling around the edge. And then this has thistles on it, and it says for Auld Lang Syne, and that can also be journaled on. And then I have a book, Chronicles of the 21st century, where I can get these calendars out of. So since this book was published in 1923, and the end of the book has a lot of New Year's, begins with Christmas and ends in New Year's, I chose to use January 1923 so that, the year that this little baby was published in. So that's Holly in all of her chubby, chunky glory. So you can see, although she's not huge, she's definitely substantial. And things hanging out. I love this in a journal when the side just looks so beautiful and is just as pretty as anything else about the book. I really love the way this book turned out. And I think I was able to accomplish that it's very much a Christmas book and not just a classic story. So this will be listed in my Etsy shop if you're interested. It probably within a day. I'm not sure yet because I still have to create the listing, but I wanted to put the video up just so that there'd be time for everyone to look through it and see maybe if this is something that you'd like. So I'll notify you on my Instagram account when it gets listed. Again, it'll probably be within about a day. And or else if you favorite my shop on Etsy, and the link is down below, Etsy should notify you when I put new things into my shop. And if you get notifications within the next day or so, it's going to be the 3 Christmas books. I'm going to be listing 3 Christmas books at the exact same time. So I will be listing Holly. I'll be listing a Christmas book that I created, and that's actually the title of it, A Christmas Book. And then I've created A Christmas Domestic Goddess, and she will be listed at the same time as well. So thanks for joining me today. That was kind of long and wordy, so just in case anyone, doesn't want to listen to all that, I will be posting just a quiet version of just a simple flip through that won't take so long. So take care. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk soon. Bye.